Is this thing on?
Are you ready, Matt?
You're listening to Box Office Bingers
with Matt Diaz and Ernesto Santos.
Good evening, folks. We have a wonderful evening's entertainment lined up for you.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
Box Office Bingers.
And the only way that I know how to do it is to find you a bloody good dump.
He's my friend. I don't have friends. I got family.
I can do this all day.
You know, if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything.
Feels very biblical.
I know. I mean, what other way? We're gonna get taken down on YouTube, but damn, it's so worth it just to listen to this. Oh man, I'm so excited to talk about these movies this week. Mainly for what we just listened to. That's Daniel Pemberton's score of one of our movies we're going to be reviewing, Masters of the Universe. But man, what a score it was. I can't wait. We're going to talk about time. It was just so much fun. I can't wait to talk about this movie later. We got a lot of other stuff going on.
Yeah, we got a double feature going on. As Ernesto mentioned, first, basically, we're going to be talking about two new releases that came out this past week. One of which is Masters of the Universe, directed by Travis Knight, who directed probably one of the good Transformers movies, which is Bumblebee.
Yeah.
As well as Kubo and the Two Strings, which is an animated claymation film. If you have not seen that movie, do yourself a favor and watch it because it's really, really good.
Yeah, I remember you really hyping it up.
Yes, it's that good. It's that good. It stars Nicolas Gals. Yeah, I should have looked at these names. Nicolas Galitzin.
Galitzin?
So.
Yeah.
Galitzin. Camila Mendes, Idris Elba, Jared Leto, Alison Brie, and Kristen Wiig. It's written by Chris Butler, who wrote Paranorman, Kubo and the Two Strings, and Missing Link, all from I really wish I want to remember the animation company who did all of them. It's the same animation company who did all those claymation movies. Ernesto, if you can look it up so I don't sound like an idiot.
Okay.
Also written by Aaron Nee and Adam Nee, who wrote The Lost City, the movie starring Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock. And it was also written by David Callahan, who did a plethora of films like The Expendables, Zombieland Double Tap, Wonder Woman 1984, The First Mortal Kombat, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So just off rip, a lot of hands in this movie. We have 4 writers that wrote the screenplay. I'd even mention the other 4 that had story by credit. So a lot of people had a hand in writing that movie.
It is Laika, an American stop motion animation studio based in Oregon, just outside Portland. They specialize in high-end, high-crafted stop motion films and are known for their innovative techniques, 3D printing for faces, intricate puppets, etc. Other notable films they did: Coraline, The Box Trolls, and then Missing Link, which you also mentioned.
Yes. And then also going back to Travis Knight for a second, he's also for the same company as he directed a movie called Wildwood, which a trailer came out earlier this year and it's expected to be released in the fall of this year. The trailer, I saw a little bit of the trailer. It looks good. So I think, he's definitely a working man this year. That's for sure. But so we're going to be talking about Masters of the Universe. The other movie we're going to be talking about this week is Scary Movie. The return of the spoof movies, the return of the Wayans Brothers. Of course, starring Marlon Wayans, Sean Wayans, Anna Faris, and Regina Hall. Directed by Michael Tides, who directed a lot of Marlon Wayans films like A Haunted House 1 and 2, 50 Shades of Black, Naked, and Sextuplets. It was also written by the Marlon and Sean Wayans, the Wayans brothers, who in the past have written Scary Movie 1 and 2, White Chicks, Little Man, and Dance Flick. So we're going to be diving into both those two new releases later on into the show, as well as give you our thoughts on Spider-Noir, which is the new show on Prime Video, which is like a take on Spider-Man, starring Nicolas Cage in his first television role. This is the first time he decided to go on television, and what a role that is for him. What a project, I should say, that he decided to dive into as his first one for television. So I can definitely see the appeal, and we'll talk about that also later in the show. But first, let's dive into some entertainment news, shall we? Like we always do. And the first piece of news we're going to be talking to you guys this week is Hugh Jackman. After playing P.T. Barnum, Van Helsing, Jean Jacquin, Jean Valjean. Jean Valjean. That's right. I was not even close until I was right in Les Mis. And most recently, he's about to play Robin Hood and The Death of a Robin Hood that come out from A24 later this year. Hugh Jackman is adding another classic character to his filmography, that character being the pirate Long John Silver in the Treasure Island adaptation from director Ridley Scott, based on the Robert Louis Stevenson's 1883 novel. What's also interesting about this is that Emmy-winning adolescence writer Jack Thorne is attached to write the film and produce it alongside Michael Pruis, who is Scott under Ridley Scott free banner. Thorne is also expected to executive produce the movie. So Captain Long John Silver, Ridley Scott, a pirate movie, a very classic pirate story. What do you think about this?
I mean, this guy Hugh Jackman, he's got some big names. Ridley Scott's really hit or miss for me. Like he's
fair.
got some epic movies, but then there's just some that just don't hit as hard. But I'm looking forward to this. I love Hugh Jackman, and I actually like the guy from Adolescence, the one who you mentioned. I can't remember his name, but
yeah, Jack Thorne.
Jack Thorne, he's great. I mean, he's great. Adolescence is great. I didn't get a chance to watch Lord of the Flies on Netflix yet, but I am looking forward. That's definitely on my watch list to watch out for next. But I think this is going to be good. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it has the recipe for a classic adventure film.
Yeah.
And, and I'm not too familiar with Treasure Island, but as it reads here, the Treasure Island follows young Jim Hawkins as he finds a map to Captain Flint's long-lost fortune and embarks on a perilous voyage aboard the Hispaniola. Aboard the ship, Jim and his crew face mutiny led by the cunning one-legged crook, Long John Silver, but ultimately outsmart the pirates to claim the gold. So clearly this is a classic story. I feel like, if anything, like Ridley Scott, I agree, is a hit or miss. That is for sure. But Hugh Jackman rarely misses, though.
That's true, but like, look at the movie he's currently coming out with, The Death of Robin Hood, which should be good. It looks like it's probably gonna be good, but there's something about it that just I have reservations. But he's great.
Yeah,
but I don't know. So I guess once I see it, I won't know until I see a trailer. If I see a trailer.
For The Death of a Robin, or
no, this one. For this one.
Or for this one. Yeah, and also just to your point, I mean, let's quickly look at Ridley Scott's most recent work. There's no denying that he has, in the past, in his filmography, has put out bangers. I mean, Alien, Blade Runner, there's no doubting that. But right now, we are specifically talking about his most recent work as a director. And here's what we got. Recently, he just came out with 2024's Gladiator 2.
That's right.
Which was a good movie.
Yeah.
He also came out in 2023, Napoleon.
Not great.
Not so great. House of Gucci in 2021. Not so great. The Last Duel also in 2021.
Didn't see it.
Didn't see. I don't remember it.
Did you see it?
I did see it. Yeah. He also did All the Money in the World in 2017.
Didn't see it.
Which I remember being good. I don't think I hated it. It stars Michelle Williams, Christopher Plummer, and Mark Wahlberg. I believe this is the movie that they did all of Christopher Plummer's scenes last minute because it was supposed to star, I think, Kevin Spacey, and they took him out of the movie. They replaced him with Christopher Plummer, and he got nominated for an Academy Award for his performance, basically in all, in reshoots, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, and then obviously before that, the same year he came out with Alien Covenant, and then probably the last big movie, in my opinion, that he did was The Martian with Matt Damon,
which was incredible.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, his track record of late within the last decade has not been amazing, has not been great, but overall, he is still Ridley Scott, and at this point, I'm down for anything you put out, and especially when you have Hugh Jackman in your corner, it's already shaping up to be like I think a lot of people are already going to be looking at it since it's already an adaptation of Treasure Island.
Yeah,
like that's already has a following behind it, so I think that right there is already a recipe for like box office appeal. Because I think also another thing that for Ridley Scott that not a lot of people went to go see his movies. I mean, really, like going back into Gladiator 2, definitely made money. But like the last few movies after that, I remember like he's spending all this money and then they're just being a box office bomb. So who knows? This could be, the movie that kind of gets him back on, I would say like the social, what's the word? The popularity.
Oh yeah.
Factor.
Just to kind of get back in the know, or what I mean, like back in the mix of things, back in the in the buzz that everybody's talking about.
Yes. But yeah, I'm interested in this. I think I was already interested with Ridley Scott's directing a Treasure Island movie. Now you have my attention with Hugh Jackman. I'm very curious with other actors that can be involved, and obviously when a trailer comes about. But also, what's Ridley Scott, especially coming off of Gladiator 2, he can still give you an epic feel to it, and 100%. I feel like this story could give you that feeling on a grand cinematic scale.
Yeah, there's definitely more to follow with this one. I think this is one to look out for.
Yeah, 100%. And the other piece of news we have for you guys this week is 24 Jump Street is in the works with Jonah Hill, Channing Tatum, and Ice Cube in talks to return. Now, you may be asking, wait, did I miss a movie? No, you didn't. Yes, there was a 21 Jump Street, followed by a 22 Jump Street. And then, if you remember at the end of 22 Jump Street, there was a running gag of like, they're just going to be outputting as, many sequels as possible. And there was a running joke of like 23, 24, 25. So I don't know if titling this 24 Jump Street, skipping 23 Jump Street is kind of a joke.
Yeah.
In that, it's from the joke that they were doing from that movie.
It's to be cute. It makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, I love the first two. So I think I'm very curious to see how they're going to come back, especially with Jonah Hill, because if you look at him between the first movie and what he looks like now, he looks like a whole other person. Like I wonder like his appearance is so different that I wonder how they're gonna touch on that in the movie. That would probably be like one of my main questions going in.
But also, the last movie came out in 2014.
Yeah.
So the bit that they were doing back then, I think it was 2020, 2012 and 2014. Yeah. 2012 and 2014 were the last movie. So they were like, obviously they weren't never in high school. That was the whole point of the joke. They looked older, but now both of them look even older. I mean, we're now 12 years removed from today, let alone when they start filming and when this movie eventually gets released. So now we're looking at least if the announcement's like around today in 2026, we're probably not even going to see this movie until late 27, maybe mid 28, if they get the ball moving on this project.
True. Very true. I don't know. I'm curious. I'm curious to see how they're gonna treat it, because are they gonna use them as like legacy characters for other people, and they're like
Right.
kind of like passing the torch, or is the running gag is that they're old, but then they're sending them, maybe they send them back to be teachers and as opposed to be students.
Oh, to be students, that could be funny actually. But what's also interesting is that the person they have attached to this so the first two movies were directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller,
Yeah.
which have now been, especially coming out of Project Hail Mary, I don't see them coming back to do.
Although that
this
would be
movie.
nice if they were to come
That
back
would
and
be
do
nice.
the third one. That would work out. I think that would be really nice.
100%. Like, but also to me, they're like comedy legends.
Yeah.
In my opinion, because they did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and they did the Lego movie. Then they did like 21, 22 Jump Street. And like, these guys are comedic golds. And then all of a sudden they came out and they started producing all these movies. Like the big one to come out of them is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, and later Beyond the Spider-Verse that comes out next year.
Mhm.
So like, they have now elevated their careers of being probably more known as producers than maybe directors. But then I think that also changed after the release of Project Hail Mary earlier this year, that got extreme high praise for their film. So I think now, being, at least they're still involved in the project, as they're just returning as producers. However, it's Rodney Rothman, who is a co-director behind Spider-Man. I think it's Spider-Man into a co-director behind Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, will be directing 24 Jump Street.
Interesting. Well, sounds like he probably pitched it to them. Like, listen, I can do this thing. I can make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also the executive producer behind Popstar Never Stop Stopping, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and most recently GOAT. All
Fantastic movie. So
yeah, the last two were Sony animated properties, so obviously they had a relationship with Rodney Rothman. And also, on top of producing, he also wrote the screenplay for Grudge Match, which is the movie with Sylvester Stallone and Robert De Niro. He also wrote the screenplay for 22 Jump Street, so he's very familiar with the film. And then, like I said, he was co-director for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, as well as a co-writer as well. So clearly that's where he has a history with Phil Lord and Chris Miller. But yeah, I mean, since he's familiar with the brand, I think that's a fine director to kind of take on the torch, take the mantle on into the directing role. But yeah, and then also apparently Rodney Robinson will direct and write the film with Jonah Hill and Megan Malloy, which I'm not sure who she is. I have not done the research for that. But Jonah Hill, and who has been attached most recently in a lot of projects as director and writer for a lot of projects that came out in the last couple of years. So with Hill being involved as the writer, so like it's all coming together basically.
yeah, I think especially if he's writing it, even if the Phil Lord and Chris Miller aren't like immediately attached, they have people who care about the property and it being good.
And also apparently like 23 Jump Street was like, and maybe this also could be a joke as well, as I'm reading here. 23 Jump Street has been in development hell for quite some time now. One stating that at one point, the franchise was going to merge with Men in Black.
I think I vaguely remember hearing about that.
Right? And it was going to be a crossover event between Men in Black and the 2021, 22, the Jump Street franchise, which to me sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That would have been really, really fun to see those two franchises kind of mold together.
But only if you bring in Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. Otherwise it doesn't work.
Correct. Yeah, you can't just what if Tommy Lee Jones didn't do it, but you brought back Josh Brolin as a young. I don't think that would work either, but I think it could be funny if they.
I think that could work if you did a young, if they got him from the past.
Yeah,
and he came back. I could see that. I could see that working.
Yeah, but apparently that was the at some point that was a plan to bring back the Jump Street franchise to bring it with Men in Black. I would have loved that. That to me that sounds like a great idea. That would have been like a little bit different from the norm. But I think to your point, now that maybe because 23 Jump Street was meant to be that and it got scrapped at the end of the day, now like a decade later, they're like or over a decade later, they're like, you know what? 23, that's not going to work for us anymore. Let's just go to 24. We have more fun with 24. And maybe that's also a nod to that as well. Like 23 was a scrap project. But either way, I'm down for more Jump Street movies. The first two movies were hilarious, and I think he can hold up. Like I think I'd be really interested to see, to your point, how they take on these characters. But also, it only works if you bring back Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum.
Yeah, of course.
But to me, I think you can take or leave Ice Cube, but it will probably help if you brought them on board as well.
No, I think you need him. To me, he's an essential part of that puzzle.
All right.
We'll see what happens. We'll see. Will it make us laugh? We'll know.
Yeah, I have high hopes for this. I've always liked this franchise. At the time, I thought these were like hilarious movies. So. Yeah. I think they can bring back some,
and I think it's a great time because it's not necessarily a spoof movie, but it is more towards a traditional comedy, which like I don't know. We've been seeing spoofs, and we're going to talk about Scary Movie later, but this will be a nice, refreshing to see a movie like this come back again, to see if these type of movies, because it is funny, but it has like a lot of sometimes there's some like social commentary in there, but I don't know, they find a way to make it work. And then it's like that timeless comedy where like, many years later, like the jokes still hit. So which how I feel about 21 and 22.
Yeah, and they also have some like, I don't remember if they ended up dying in the movie, but there's also like Brie Larson and Dave Franco who were in the first movie.
That's right.
So like they could also bring those characters back if they wanted to.
And
like as
Wyatt Russell.
Oh my God, yes. Wow, I totally forgot about that. So they have to like some big name actors now that could also poke fun at either themselves or like to kind of beef up the cast a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So 100%. Yeah, they got some room to play here. And also like it could. You're right. It's a traditional comedy, but also a satire, but also sometimes a spoof on its own thing. So they have a lot of wiggle room to like have a lot of fun with this. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm down for this.
Same.
But anyway, it's quick, but that's all the news we have for you guys this week. As always, you can follow us on our social media channels on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at Box Off. Nope. You can. I got into the rhythm of what I say typically at the end. Let me reverse. Let's start this over. That's all the entertainment news we have for you guys this week. As always, you can follow us on our social media channels on Facebook at Box Office Bingers and our Threads and Instagram page at boxoffice_bingers. We'll post all the news over there first, and then we'll come back on the show and we'll talk about it. So with that, we'll like to move on to a fun segment we like to call Whatcha Watchin, and it's a slow week. So the only thing we've been watching is Spider-Noir.
Look here, see? We're going to talk about Spider-Noir, see?
That's pretty good.
Where's the spider? But yeah,
give me Ben Reilly.
Yeah. Get Silvermane. Yeah. Look at here, see? You could have
got him on the phone right now.
Yeah. Who's really? I know you're the spider. Oh. I'm a smart man too. I call myself quite a detective. I mean, he was like Irish, so I can't really do his Irish accent justice.
Silvermane was very much Irish.
Yeah. I think overall I liked it. It was pretty good. It just seemed like it was missing something. I just wanted to see more of Nicolas Cage being quote unquote the spider, copyright the whole. And then I didn't even know about all the legal issues until you brought them up and the whole reason why it's so different. I think I looked up a quote from the original creator. Let me see if I can find it. Who was saying that it's so unrecognizable from what he actually created that it's like you can't even call them the same thing.
It definitely felt, even though it's not, which within the research for the show, it is, even though it is played by the same actor, Nicolas Cage, who voiced Spider-Noir in the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse films, it is not the same character that is represented in the animated movies. Instead, this is an alternate version of that character in this world.
And I actually have the quote. So it's from the original creator, Fabrice Sablowski, who co-created the 1930 Spider-Man concept, has publicly noted that the final version is barely recognizable from what he created due to all these legally driven changes. And this was what some interview he did with on the Popverse. So it's yeah. I mean, I like the black and white aesthetic. And Amazon has it where you could watch it in either black and white or in true Technicolor. And I only watched it in black and white. I just felt like as this noir type property that it had to be watched and appreciated in the way it was, because they make it seem like it was intended to be watched in black and white.
So do you want to know what I did? I watched the episodes in black and white because I feel very similar to you, where it's like, yeah, I feel like you don't have this option often. So I feel like just the property itself lended to, like, yeah, let's just watch it in black and white. There's not a lot of option nowadays that you have the option to watch anything in black and white anymore. So I feel like already in that of itself, it just felt unique to watch this in black and white. However, I was interested in the Technicolor. So the recaps, I switched it to color. So when it said like the recap the last episode, I typically skip those because I literally just watched it. However, I watched like the maybe 90-second, maybe a minute to 90-second recap that they had, and I watched that in color to see some of the things that was represented obviously in color. And there were some things to me, it blew my mind as I was watching it. Like basically, the reporter, what's his name?
Robbie Robertson.
Robbie Robertson, yes. Never in a million years where I thought his suit was going to be orange.
Oh.
And yeah, exactly. And also, like a lot of Nicolas Cage's suits, as when he is Ben Reilly as a detective, is blue. It's not. I thought it was like a black color, but no, it's blue. And to me, I thought that was like a lot of interesting choices. Like there was one where Kat Harding was like singing and performing for the first time, and it's like this bright yellow sparkly dress that she was wearing, almost like insinuated like the sun or a halo based on the outfit that she was wearing. And I was like, damn, this is like really rich colors that they have here. So it was really cool to see that, but primarily I watched the show in black and white.
But what's interesting about that is that it seems like that they made deliberate choices to highlight the color. So if you did choose to watch it in color, you are getting some. It is worth your time. It is not just what you watched. Like I don't know, like it just seemed there's something to appreciate in both aspects. It seems like.
No, 100%. And I think I do not regret watching this show in black and white. There were just some scenes that just really popped in the black and white setting. And honestly, the first shot alone when he's swinging in the city, I was like, damn, I'm ready for this. This looks awesome. Yeah, I had a good time watching this, Ernesto.
I enjoyed it. I don't know. I just, like I told you before, like I wanted more of him being the Spider, not this, oh, I don't want to be the Spider anymore. Oh, I don't want to help people. I'm not a hero. Like, I don't know, this backdoor origin story, because we spent half of the season like learning how he became the Spider, and it's interesting to see that it was different and they tied it to this like 1930s and it being from him being in the World War. So I thought that was interesting to just like kind of a different take on the Spider origin story as opposed to it being what it typically is.
Yeah, and sorry, as I just remembered it, just real quickly, I feel like what I also noticed was that the color really popped more for our villains, like Megawatt and Sandman and Tombstone. I'm not sure if he actually had a name in the show, but that was definitely him.
Was it Tombstone or was it the Lizard?
No, it was Tombstone. Lonnie Lincoln is Tombstone.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they didn't. And Flint Marko is Sandman.
Correct.
Like
But
that. Those were the.
But the other guy, I don't know, Lonnie, I think his name was. That's not Electro. That's Megawatt.
You
Who was
see?
some kind? Who was? It was interesting because he was like this like pseudo theatrical poet, like just in the way that he spoke. And I just thought, I thought that was interesting, like an interesting take that they put onto his character, because in actuality, he's like this dirty gangster who like does these horrific things, but yet they have him. He speaks like this, but yet he like how he speaks is not good. But I don't even know the way to explain it. But like what he was saying was like almost poetic in like the things he said it, but it's how they presented it through his voice. It just didn't match, and I assume that was on purpose, but it was interesting.
It's funny that you said that, because you're not the first person that I heard that had that complaint.
I don't even know if it's necessarily a complaint, but I just thought it was an interesting character choice that they made for him. Like, I'm fine with him being like that, but the fact that I guess maybe to reflect like the people of that time, that maybe so many people were educated, but yet they had to turn. There was nothing left, especially for veterans like that. Maybe they had nothing to turn to. So it doesn't matter like what they know or how educated they were. If they were in this life, then they were in the life. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Right? Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying. But what I did notice was that, like I said, the color. Actually, sorry, the Megawatt. His name was Dirk Linden or Leiden. Yeah. But yeah, I noticed that the color really popped for like the electricity, the sand, like, and also like in the detail in the face. It worked better in color than I believe it worked in black and white.
I can believe that.
Yeah, just based on what I was watching from the recap episodes, I was like, oh damn, that really pops. But then again, I just love the aesthetic of the black and white everything about this show. I think also, and then also giving the option for people to watch it, and very seamlessly too. It was just a button. Like, if you wanted to watch one scene in black and white, you could have quickly watched the next scene in color and then go back again if you wanted to, just to see it.
Oh, that's cool.
I think it was like really seamless for people who wanted to flip back and forth. So I applaud Amazon and Prime Video for kind of pushing that forward, because it was really brought a very unique viewing experience all around.
Well, because they could have made it. It could have been a hassle. Like, you could have went down and it clicked it, but it clicks to like a whole new timeline of videos, and you got to find the one you want to watch. As opposed to, so like when you went to switch, would it go to where you were already watching on the other one?
Yep.
See, that's crazy. That's really cool.
It was literally all it was. Like, I hit like, and you know how you just hit like pause or whatever, and then you can go to the bottom or scroll, or like you put subtitles on, whatever. It was just as easy as it was on the bottom. It said alternate version. You click it. It says color or black and white. You pick which one you want, and it immediately just plays from whichever one you chose.
But from like, let's say if you were in the middle, it wouldn't re-cue the beginning of the episode. It would cue to
no. It would be right where you left off.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, and I thought that was like really, again, a really awesome feature to provide for a show that inherently feels like it should be in black and white, and the vibe of like a noir film is black and white, the aesthetic is, but yet for people who don't like that, they give you color. But also, it's not just color, it's technicolor, which kind of pretty much, to me, it just feels like that you're just heightening the color palette more often than you would any other film. So they didn't just say like, oh, here's it in color, here's like, they gave you an experience either way. And I don't think a lot of shows do that or have the option creatively to do that. So I think it was just really cool that was an option.
Yeah.
But overall, I liked, kind of moving on to some of the character choices. Nicolas Cage.
He was great.
He
was the best part of it.
He was the best part of it. Like, I think his weirdness that he kind of just goes out there in other movies. But first of all, this is his first television role, which is an interesting choice for him to dive into, like, for his first TV role. But I think like Nicolas Cage's like exuberance, his craziness that he can put in his role sometime really worked for this one specifically.
I agree. I agree. It just worked. Like I don't know. Like I forgot that I was watching Nicolas Cage. Like he makes that character so lived in. Like to me, that was the only thing that kept me going. Is like, oh, look at let me talk to Lonnie. See, I'm gonna help you. I love you, cat. I want to leave this life behind.
But even like in earlier when he was like pretending to be like he was in detective mode, and he was like, you see, I'm the chief of police, you see? And then he just goes over. I don't think he said that, but he was like, oh, I work for the board of whatever for veterans. I'm going to be talking to these fellas, you see? And then like he just, I don't know why you got to end it with you see. It just feels like that's a natural thing. When you go into the voice, you got to be like, my name is Ben Riley, you see? Like you got to just, you got to end it with, I'm the spider, you see? You see? You got to give it the pause.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like him, the kind of going out there and like pretending to be, this reporter for veterans or some sort of board, or when he wanted to get back his Spider-Man suit that he hid inside the wall, and he was like, I'm the plumber, you see, you got to go in there and fix the leak in the bathroom. And like, don't you hear the water dripping? And then he just walks away.
It's like, what the? You just broke our fucking wall. Are you gonna fix this shit? Like, oh, I don't think he's a plumber. You think? You think? You cracked that case.
Apparently that couple returned for the final fight. They were the one that were going back and forth, be like, oh, he's the spider doesn't got it. I think he should stay retired. And then she goes, he still got it after he did like some sort of move. I didn't put that together, but in a breakdown that I watched, it was the same couple.
You're like, oh,
so
that's neat.
Good for them. Yes. I also liked Lamorne Morris as Robbie Robertson. I thought he gave like a interesting reporter angle to what like Peter Parker. He's not really a reporter; he's a photographer. But I think like him following his story, wanting to be in the Daily Bugle again, only for him to start his own paper by the end of it. I think that was a nice arc for him, and also a great performance with him as well. But I think the person who played, Karen Rodriguez, who played Janet Rez.
Oh, his secretary.
She was fantastic.
Oh, she was
secretary.
Great. Yeah,
she was great. I loved her. She was very sassy. She was like, I don't give a fuck about this guy, and it just really worked for that dynamic of like, Ben Riley just not really giving a fuck, and like obviously they're down their luck, but money wise, and they're not really taking any jobs, but she's relentless and for the most part trying to keep this afloat, and clearly the smarter out of anybody in that room right now. And then I also really like Kat Hardy. Like I think she was supposed to be a like a take on Black Cat, which I can obviously see that.
Yeah. Oh,
like that was a good representation of like the Black Cat character. I think also with the show, like and also like Silvermane, Brendan Gleeson, great villain. Like
between him and Nicolas Cage were the main reasons why I kept watching. Like him as Silvermane, and especially when they were together, their kind of banter back and forth, or just kind of how he would interact when he was trying to show up the mayor and shit. When he just showed up to dinner, he's like, "You should keep our appointments." Like I don't know, and even his henchmen, those two guys, I thought they worked as to kind of like balance out the comedic timing.
Yeah, and I feel like he was just like a massive threat to like the whole show. Like he did a really good job presenting fear, and like because he wasn't really physical, but he was like he had power, which they talked about a lot in the show. Like he just wanted power, and he just wanted more of it, and he just wants people in his corner. He's very convincing. He can set you up with a good life if you're in his corner. Like he has the money. Like I think that was a good villain role, and also just not a typical villain, because obviously Ben Riley was working with him to like continuing solving the murder. And I think to me what really got me while watching this show as well was like how Ben Riley as a detective was able to like outsmart, and like especially with the whole money bit with like he's like, oh, I recognize that he marks his bills based on the person he gives it to. and then kind of just seeing like all the pieces kind of fall together. You think that he's just stealing the money to like pay off the other person he wants to be paid off, but it was all a ploy to market the same way that his assistant marked it, so he doesn't have to feel like that he's like in the threat of like his radar. And at the end of the day, got another guy killed.
Yeah.
But I think that was a really, like, to me, I didn't see that coming. That kind of twist of like Ben Reilly's grandmaster plan of it all, and I think that was written really well. Of like a little mini arc for him. The only one that I wasn't a fan of was like Cat Hardy, like basically manipulating him. I would say manipulating, but
Yes.
she definitely said that she had feelings for him, but not like that way. I just feel like that romance never landed for me. Especially since we spent a lot of time with Cat Harding, loving like Flint Marco.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They set that whole thing up, and then for her just to be like, "Yeah, I'll run away with you," and then once she finds out,
Right.
once the doctor finds out, oh, well, if you know who the spider is, I can fix everybody. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, fuck Ben.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
It just felt like a really fast paced, like obviously you're catching, Ben on his like really down on his luck at the moment, so just kind of chasing whatever he wants, like with like the next, I wouldn't say the next, like, woman that has attracted to him, but definitely, I don't know, I just felt like it was rushed and a little bit unnecessary, a little bit out of character from what we've seen the last couple of episodes. But like either that proves that she was, good at what she was doing as far as manipulating him, but I wouldn't say manipulating, because I think she did have some sort of feeling toward him, but clearly the stronger for Flint at the end.
Oh,
of
of course.
But yeah, that was weird, and also a little bit anticlimactic when she was the one that killed Silvermane. I just felt like, one, how many bullets in that chamber? First of all,
In that
she
little
was
ass gun.
right, the little ass gun firing every mirror in that attic or wherever they were, only for him to just like have a conversation like, "I'm glad it was you to kill me," and then just shoots him dead. Like I feel like it wasn't much of a fight, because he literally just walked away and she followed him.
I mean, he didn't really walk. He like hobbled. He's got that cane.
He
So
kinda-
it's not like she had to run after him. She had to like
Right.
briskly catch up since he walked first.
And it was like, oh, well, end the line, you see? And like he could have kept walking. Like,
Yeah.
like the mirrors didn't stop you from like continuing to run away. I don't.
But it's emotional
To me-
effect because he's everywhere.
Sure. The whole bit, I feel like, never landed for me. Like between her and run, like between Ben Reilly trying to run away with her and then her killing Silvermane, just felt a little off. But overall, like, I liked her character, though. I just feel like there was some weird choices there that I guess needed to move the story forward, but didn't really land for me as much as, say, other things landed, like, even some of the action that was brought by the spider. I thought that was pretty dynamic as well.
I really liked the car scene when he's fighting all the guys on the way to the
dock.
to the dock where the liquor is. That scene I really liked. Also the final fight scene between him and Sandman and Megawatt. I thought really worked. I imagine that it probably would have been a lot better in color, like seeing him turn his sand into like glass, or I thought that would have been really cool. Or seeing him like pull electricity from all over the streets with all the lights on. I'm sure that would have been really cool to see. But I thought they were really good. I mean, Nicolas Cage, the Spider, he gets his ass whooped pretty much in every fight.
He does. And I think that had I think there was a good balance between the Spider and Nicolas Cage, like, when the Spider appeared, because it was once every episode, which honestly I wasn't expecting. Like, I thought that he was like, "Oh, I'm retired, you see?" And so I thought that he was just going to be Ben Reilly for like 3 episodes and then eventually get into the suit. Like after the first episode, like you see his origin more or less, and he was like, "I used to be the Spider, but then I put it away." And like we got like a really cool montage in the beginning of the first episode, and I felt like by the end of maybe by episode 3 we would have gotten him back in the suit, but we got him way sooner than that. Toward, I believe in episode 2 they got him back in the suit already, and he was already that car chase was, I believe, in episode 2. So I'm like, okay, so we're not just like waiting around for him to go back into it. He's a little rusty, that's clear.
Are you sure it wasn't 3? I feel like maybe we went a whole episode without him as the Spider. But
I think the only episode that he wasn't the Spider was technically episode 6 when he was being like in the hospital.
Well, he was still doing Spider stuff, so that actually counts.
Yeah,
you know, like I
okay. Also, another weird note that I thought was an interesting move of like him like in his tics. I feel like that like a very Nicolas Cage like in his weirdness, but again, it story wise it worked.
Yeah,
him like doing like he's like doing like one of these, and
he like hugging
and
he's grabbing himself and shit.
Yeah, grabbing himself, and like him going to like this like, you know, like this position, this like, I'm not sure exactly what you call it, but he did that pose a lot where he was like kind of scrunched up and everything.
Oh, like a dead bug, like feet in hands and feet in the air.
Yes, yeah. I think, and it also even like a tragic backstory where he said like I had to watch the movies to relearn how to be human again after he got bit. So like even that story wise plays into where he's maybe a little bit more animated than usual because he's taking a lot of his lessons from watching the movies. So I think the script really worked for me. Like a lot of the weirdness of it ended up working at the end of the day. Also, I also love the bit where Nicolas Cage is like I'm the Spider, and he goes to the secretary, and she was like, "Yeah, I know that."
Yeah, and then it's like the montage. I like that.
You get the montage. Him being drunk, and he was like, "I'm the Spider," and he's just wearing the goggles and the hat, but not the mask and everything. And then him just like up on the air, like up on the ceiling, and yeah, it was so funny. I think they had a lot of those funny moments there too, especially when the kid was involved too. They had some good back and forth with that. I don't know. I feel like for me, this is a very new, like obviously it was very like it was refreshing to see a show like this. It wasn't your average Spider-Man content. It wasn't your average television show you would see anywhere else.
Yeah.
So I really had fun with like the nuance, the vibe, the world that they presented, in a lot of familiarity with Spider-Man, but then give it a new twist. And I applaud for everyone involved for kind of just going along with this, because I feel like this was not an easy show to convince people to make.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think for me, it was just kind of missing something. I just wanted more. I just wanted more of the Spider, like in action, and that's fine. That's just not the story that they were presenting. Or
yeah.
I mean, I thought it was fine. I liked it. Now, here's my question for you: do you want another season? Would you want a season 2 of this?
100%. Yeah,
okay.
I would take another season of this. I think it was fun. Whether, you know, how we move forward, I don't know. However, I think they did a really good job closing it out, though.
Yeah. It's its own self-contained thing.
Yes, it was very much. If this was a limited series and we didn't get any more, this was a very satisfying 8 episodes to me. But if they wanted to continue, they obviously left the door open for that, to continue a new story and give us this vibe again. Time will tell. And honestly, to my opinion, it's all to Nicolas Cage. Like, if Amazon brought to him, hey, do you want to do this again? You know, did you like your experience working on television? Would you like to do this again? Do you have time on your busy schedule to do that? Like, kind of like, I think it is up to him if he wants to do that, because he is the show.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think you do the show without him. So, but I would 100% watch a second season of this.
Yeah,
like, I had a good time.
I'd watch another season.
What's your 5-star?
I'm kind of floating between a 3 and a 3.5. I mean,
wow.
I know you're probably like at a 4.5, almost probably 4, right?
Are
you at a 5?
I'm at a 5.
Wow, a 5?
Yeah.
Wow, man.
I'm telling you, I had a really good time with this show. Also, the opening intro
was good.
I never skipped it. It was a fucking banger. I love that intro. It was like, I was like, damn, okay. I was like, my saving grace. I was like, damn, this slaps.
Matt, we need you to do the intro next time.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
I was having a great time with that intro. So if you're leaning a 3,
how about I meet you
3.5,
at a 4? How about I meet you at a 4?
Yeah, 4 is fair.
Okay.
Like box office binges rating is a 4.
Matt rating 5.
Matt rating 5. Ernesto seems like about a 3.
Yeah, I'm closer to a 3.5. Like it's not that.
All right, 3.5.
I don't think it's that.
Right,
I guess I just wasn't wowed. I liked it. Like it was enjoyable. Like it wasn't like a chore to finish watching it, but I wasn't like over the moon for it. I guess you
made a really good point. I wasn't wowed with it either, but I think I just had fun with it.
It's like it sounds like you were though.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like you're lying.
Seems like you got wow written on your face.
Yeah. That's a pretty big smile you got there. Also, you're wearing the fucking shirt, so I don't know what to tell you.
And I literally just heard you sing the theme song, so I don't know.
I mean, you don't give anything a 5 out of 5 and go, wow, man.
I wasn't wild. It was all right.
That was a meh 5 out of 5. Like I said, I had a good time with it. I think it was unlike any other show that's on TV right now.
That's fair.
And like to me, I appreciated all the kind of the originality that came with all this. Again, going back to familiarity with Spider-Man, but giving you something new, because I think this is the first live action depiction of Spider-Man that's not Peter Parker.
It's not Spider-Man. It's the Spider.
You're right. You got me there.
You got me.
You got me. He ain't Spider-Man. He ain't Peter Parker.
Oh, you changed your name.
It's the Spider, see?
No, look at here, see?
Hey, look at this, see? Anyway, I had a good time with it. I would love to see more of this, but this is all we got. Then I'm okay with that too.
Then all right.
But all right, that's all we've been watching. So now we're going to be diving into our first spoiler review of the week. One of the new releases that came out last week, and that movie is Scary Movie. Again, brought to you by the return of the Wayans Brothers, who gave us Scary Movie 1 and 2.
I think it's just.
Is
Wayans.
it Wayne?
I think it's just
Wayans. Am I giving it too much?
You're adding you're adding an ANs at the end, but I feel like it's just Wayans.
I think it's spelt. It's spelt that way.
You are correct, but that doesn't mean that it's pronounced that way. I feel like for my entire life have always called them the Wayans Brothers instead of the Wayans. I don't even know what you say. I don't want to say it. I don't want to
Wayans.
The Wayans. The Wayans Brothers.
I don't know what you're doing. It's the Wayans, not the Wayans.
Man, I've been waiting to give you a full breakdown of this movie. I'm just kidding.
I'm sure you have.
I'm sure. So I actually have had high hopes for this movie. I really did. It's silly. It's chaotic. It's completely fucking random. I feel like I enjoyed it more the day of, and like kind of more that now that time has passed. It's just kind of like, okay, it was fine. Like it was fine. I think I just wanted more out of it with how good Naked Gun was last year. I think I was expecting something similar, and we got something in the ballpark, but I feel like it didn't hit the way that Naked Gun hit last year. Like there's some really funny, there's quite a few funny bits, but overall, like it was fine.
Yeah, I think it's hard because one, I don't think Scary Movie and even like if you go all the way back to like Airplane and The Naked Gun and like those type of movies were never Scary Movie. Like those are two different styles of spoof comedy.
Yeah, but they're still in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? There's like this, like I don't know, like what it seems. It's very reminiscent of the first and second one, but I didn't go back and rewatch the first and second one. So like, am I gonna go back and rewatch it now and it not be as funny as when I first watched it? Probably. Right.
Yeah, I don't know if those movies would hold up today.
Yeah, I don't know,
And
but to this point, this movie doesn't really hold up today because they say every line will be crossed. I mean, they literally kind of hit on everything, which I do appreciate, like them kind of hitting on different like horror movies and just kind of like it almost seemed like an SNL skit like put together with a very loose plot.
I literally wrote that down in my notes, like right there. I said at one point just turned into a series of sketch comedy bits.
Like literally, there's one point where Smokey's outside smoking a joint, and then he walks inside, and then it was like a clear setup for like the Get Out scene, with like Ghostface and like their Ghostface just sitting there. Which that scene is wild, where he gets sunken into the seat, and then it becomes like this weed K-pop demon hunters scene. It was so random.
To me, in my opinion, that it was the only line that got crossed. Like, I think, like, because I thought that movie would have gone, because they were basically saying that we're coming after you. We're not afraid of, being any sort of like criticism that's coming our way. And it's like, okay, we're going to push the boundaries a little bit. I feel like the K-pop demon hunter scene was the only one where I felt like they might have crossed the boundary, but everything else was pretty self-contained.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I never of making fun of themselves, like
yes,
like getting on to Anna Faris for doing Scary Movie 3 and 4, or like the whole bit at the end with Anthony Anderson. I actually thought that part with him and Shaq. I actually thought that part was pretty funny.
Honestly, best part of the movie.
The whole meta ending with like the cameo with them coming out at the end. Like, I thought that was good. What'd you think about the? I guess let's kind of like go through like which parts did you not? Well, let me start with this. What did you absolutely hate about this movie?
I don't think I hated anything about this movie. I just think that some of the bits worked and some of the bits didn't.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
did you like the opening with Tiana Taylor? I kind of like that.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
I thought it was really funny. Very
yeah.
meta.
I also when she, I think to me, as you already know, I'm very much into meta comedy.
Yeah.
So like the whole beginning and the whole end of the movie was just that. It was very meta. And so I enjoyed that aspect of it because it wasn't, and I think that's what like Naked Gun does best, and where I feel like in the middle of this movie, it kind of faltered a little bit, because if we're comparing this to Naked Gun and we're comparing this to the beginning and the end of Scary Movie, you're making fun of yourself. You're also making fun. It's like a satire. You're making fun of the Hollywood around yourself, and and you're making fun of what you're trying to do. Like in this case, it was the beginning of Scary Movie, the end of legacy characters and like franchise and what they typically do in these movies. So like when you do that, it works. But when it doesn't work is when I feel like you're trying too hard to be funny. You're almost like what I like about like with these spoof movies is when you make a joke and you're already on to the next one and you missed the entire it was so quick you could have missed it. Or if you got it, you're laughing and you missed the next bit. Like that's the good comedy that I enjoyed. Or you do a joke that like it's only meant for the real ones. Yeah. Where like this isn't like a hard like a hard thing to catch up on. However, when Tiana Taylor was literally like put a shot back and was like Viva Resolution, like that if you saw one battle after another.
That's right.
Right? That's the joke. That on top of that, also when Ghostface says you didn't win the Oscar, and then she goes, "But I won the Golden Globe, bitch." Yeah. Like again, if you know what's happening in Hollywood, the joke lands and it's funny, and that joke will always remain funny.
I would also say some of the meta commentary that they had on like certain franchises, like when they hit on Scary Movie, I think it was 6, like that whole Tiana Taylor bit, and he follows down the alley. Yeah, she's like, "Oh, I'm from Harlem." Ooh, and then everybody just fucking pops. I thought that shit was so funny. Like,
also the other guy where he comes out in Uber, he's like, "Where the hell you were?" He's like, "Sorry, I thought that was like a bird call." I was like, "No, that's not a bird call." Like, "Ooh, that's the call." Like it was like they're doing some other noises, and it was like, it's a funny bit. It's a bit that's not like it's the comedy that if it's funny if you know it, and it's like for some people it could be just be over your head, but if you're in the know, it's funny. The jokes that don't become as funny is, example, when Kenan Thompson was spoofing Michael Jackson, but instead of it being
funny.
Michael Jackson, it was like Jermaine.
I thought that
And-
shit was so, I don't know. I thought that, like, out of all the parts, I actually thought that part was really funny. Like, there was just something about, like, oh, they're making fun of Michael. Like, Michael's this big hit. They just came out,
Yeah.
and it's like shot for shot, and he's all fucking up, and it's like, Jermaine.
Jermaine. And then it says Juneteenth.
Or like I forgot what movie it was. They were promoting. It was like coming out this Kwanzaa. Like,
Yeah, it was it was Bros Fanatu.
that's right.
Yeah.
or something random with Sean Wayans when he's driving up and they're doing like a spoof off of the Sinner scene and he goes to
Yes.
plug in his car. It is that supercharger that says woke Watts.
Woke Watts.
I don't know why. See, but like, okay, like that part was funny, but I felt like
Yeah.
the whole him being gay in church thing, like it was funny for a little
It
bit,
didn't
but I felt
land.
like that bit just dragged on
Yes.
for way too long. Like
Yeah.
going back to the Reverend, like, oh, he gay. Oh no, he still like dick. Like it was just like
Yeah.
to me, it was just to me like it was funny to start, but I feel like they just dragged that bit on for way too long.
Yeah, I think you actually make a good point because when the movie is commenting on the joke, I don't think it's funny.
Correct. Yeah.
But when the joke kind of comes and goes, then it becomes funny. And also it's how it's written as well. Like
Yeah.
if it just kind of flows with one joke after another, then it works. But when you're like, when he's doing his, thing at the altar and he was like, I'm not gay. And it's like, oh, he's gay. It's like, we get the bit. We as the, like, you're kind of like, you're kind of like thinking the audience is dumb by commenting on it. He's like, oh, it's funny because he's saying that he's not, but he is.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Or
Like-
even if they didn't have the Reverend and they just had Brenda, like Regina Hall's character, like she
Yeah.
made like a few comments here and there. If she had just like if they had just cut to her like looking at him and him making
Yes.
those comments, then I feel like maybe it would have landed. It
A
still
little
would have
bit
been
better.
too long, but I feel like it would have hit a little bit better than like over explaining it with like cutting in with the Reverend.
Right. And I feel like also just in the times that we are right now, the joke probably was never funny back in the early 2000s. It like you being gay but not gay, like I don't think that lands. Like
Yeah.
to me that just wasn't a funny of a joke anymore. Whereas even though in the trailer it's a little bit better when she was getting stabbed in the subway station and she was like, "Oh my god, she's getting hurt." And then like paused and said, "My pronouns are they them."
Yeah.
And then they get into a tiff. It's like, okay, that is more of an up-to-date joke on that than it was with Sean Wayans and him being in the church and everything.
I actually kind of liked the way that bit kind of expanded because they do that part and then they kind of tie in where the lady is a Karen, but her name is Karen, and then she ends up stabbing her too.
Yeah, and again, like that type of dialogue doesn't work for me. It's like, and my name is Karen. It's like, okay, no, we get it. Like
Yeah. You're a Karen.
like, I feel
your
like-
name is Karen.
yeah, hilarious.
So is it the over? It seems like the over explaining of the bits in the movie is like what really brought it down.
Yeah, I think so. And
Or-
then
Well, I was just saying it also seems like it was a lot of just talking about them in general. I mean, the whole substance scene turned into a White Chicks cameo.
which to me that was hilarious.
Oh, that was funny. But it
That
seemed
was-
like a lot of that. It was more of the meta of like what the Wayans brothers. I'm surprised we didn't see Little Man in there.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, it was funny because I remember liking Little Man.
So do I. Yeah.
I don't know if I would like it if I rewatched it today.
Yeah. No, I don't think
No,
so.
I don't think so at all.
If I
however-
vaguely remember, there's like a breastfeeding bit, like
Mhm.
with breast milk. I don't remember the full extent, but I remember that being like a small part of it.
Yes, and those were very the comedies of the time, and we've talked about that before. And can a spoof movie kind of even like something like this kind of like can you make jokes today like that? And just by watching it, of course you can. And nothing's stopping you from doing that. But again, sometimes they work, and sometimes they didn't. And I feel like a lot of that movie was for me. Like I thought the nurse in the hospital, I think her name was Nurse Ratched,
Yeah.
which was a play on word of the actual show Nurse Ratched.
Oh, really? I
Um,
see. I didn't know that.
as well as Nurse Ratched. Like, yes. And I thought her bit was funny, where like she's literally getting stabbed. Or when she said, like, I'm the DEI hired. Okay. That's a funny bit.
That was funny. That
Yes.
part was funny.
And she's like, please don't die, I'm the DEI hired. Like, I get it. And then the next part where she's like literally running away, Ghostface is in the room, and she's like, help me, and she goes, I'm on break, and that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then eventually she helps him, and she hits the what is it called, the pea pan, and then his face is like in it.
See that? Okay. Did you feel like them commenting on him being the killer, like obviously commenting on the trope that the boyfriend is always the killer?
Yeah.
In like in scary movies, do you feel like that was overdone? Because I mean, we hit that bit almost like every time he was on scene.
I was okay with the revisiting of the bit. What I didn't care for was the I guess the girlfriend, who was I wouldn't really call her the main actress, but because I think the Wayans Brothers and the Anna Faris and Regina Hall, those were their main four that we were following. But I like the new cast. I don't think, like, they played like they were idiots, and I feel like that's not the bit that I find funny. Like, if your character is an idiot, like I don't know, I just don't. That's not funny to me.
I kind of liked her being like this drugged out. She's like swallowing pills to say mommy issues. I don't know. Like, to me, it was very, but it's a call out to like the rest of their stuff where it's like very in your face, very on the nose, like not very leaving up for interpretation. Like what you see is 100% what they're trying to tell you.
Right. Exactly. And I feel like, to me, that's not like, and then there was a point where, like, a lot of it, like I said, just turned to a sketch comedy bit. Like, all of a sudden, like, we were following along some sort of storyline, which was like clearly going. It was very much, the main story was Scary Movie, or sorry, it was Scream 5. I guess that was when the 2022 Scream movie.
Yeah,
that was like the core baseline of the film, and then they just had a lot of random bits interjected into it. One of which was the long legs bit with the guy with the short hand, and he has like all white face, and the cops they tackled the black man standing next to him rather than the very obviously suspicious looking one right next to him. Like, that was like Christopher I keep calling Christopher Nicolas Cage's Long Legs film, and that was like
one.
Neither did I. Honestly, it didn't look. People said it was good. It didn't look good to me, so I never watched it. But that was what it was spoofing, and like, I feel like that bit had no reason of being there other than like, oh, we want to tackle like why did we cut to that? We weren't following any of the characters. Like, it was a whole new group of people that we were never seen again until like the mid-credit scene. So like, I don't understand why that bit was in there to begin with, other than we want to spoof this movie. And it felt like that it could have been an SNL sketch that got put together.
Unless they're trying to already set up for another one.
Yeah, but like, it had no reason of being. Like, I sure. But like, that you take out that bit, it doesn't change the movie at all. Like, at least the substance, like the substance bit, we already met Gail. What was her name? Something.
Gail Swallows.
Was that really her name?
I think so.
Why? I mean, it'd be funny if it is, but Gail Hailstorm.
Gail Hailstorm. Oh no! What Doofus says to her? He says, "Gail Swallows." That's what he says. That's right.
Yes, that's right. So like, we got introduced to her. Obviously, she was in the older movie, so getting reintroduced to her character with Dewey, and then making a comment about wanting to be young, and then going into the substance bit. At least we had a lead up to that.
That's true.
Then eventually turning into a white chicks moment, which I thought was really funny. That part I was definitely not expecting.
Yeah.
In there. And I think you can make a White Chicks 2 today.
Oh, you
I
absolutely
think
can.
that could work. And so there was stuff like that. Also, what I found interesting was I'm gonna go all over the place. The Sinners bit when the 3 people were trying to get into the party.
Random. So random.
Very random. Also, I found out that apparently they wanted to originally have them in blackface.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure
they-
that was a fucking hard no from the studios.
Right. But eventually they retracted that. But I think, to me, if you're gonna say every line was crossed, that would have been it.
Yeah, that would have been a line. That would have been a line. I don't think they could have come back from that. That would have been like,
No.
it would have been too far.
And I think, I mean, if anything, for the actors than anybody else.
Yeah.
Like, if you're trying to make a career out of, like, probably not from this movie, but if you want just a career in general, on your resume, you kind of don't want that out there. Because that could be mistreated elsewhere. But I feel like that, okay, were you actually trying to cross lines? And then, you had some pushback by the studio or other factors that be, like, but hearing that, I was like, okay, that's definitely crossing a line, but, like, that definitely got you your shock value. But clearly that didn't pass. But then having an orgy with the K-pop demon hunters and all the other characters involved, and then also
fine.
going into an animated form, that was okay. So I feel like that, to me, that was, again, the only line that was actually crossed in that and was just completely out there of a scene.
Yeah.
Which, again, kudos, because it definitely got me on a shock value. I was like, wow, okay, he's that high that that's what he was. That's the state that he went to. But then it kind of just, to me, I think the shock value was there, right? But then it ruined it when he woke up and there's 3 women in his bed. Because also where we started was him getting sunken down into the sunken place. So I think, to me, by the end of it, they kind of ruined their own joke.
Well, yeah, because then
in
it's
my
like,
opinion.
the beginning of the joke like didn't matter or anything,
Yeah, exactly. What's the other thing? Oh, the other thing I really enjoyed was the shorty streaming
Yes.
bit. I think that got one of the biggest laughs out of me, where he was like, all right, y'all, we're here. And then it's like, you guys are just paying me stupid money to do nothing. And I think that was a really funny bit. And then, like, the guy comes in, he's like, oh, and then, like, we got a special guest. And then, like, Ghostface comes out, like, oh, it's him. And then he's like, ah, and then, like, was like that whole thing that had me rolling. And then, like, they're hitting him with the noodle. Yeah, that was a funny bit.
What did you think about the John Wick fight scene at the end?
I feel like it was a John Wick / Everything Everywhere All at Once, because she was killing people with dildos, and
I
that's
guess
what
that's true.
that's what Everything Everywhere All at Once did as well. I mean, if it wasn't a nod, I mean, it very clearly kind of was for me. It was fine. I found it more funny that Regina Hall was like, "Oh, I'm not doing that."
They got me. Oh,
They got me. And it was also funny, again, another bit not calling itself out, but it can be, but it's there, was like Anna Faris was like already zipping up the body bag. She's like, I'm still alive, I'm good, like I didn't get shot, I'm all right. And she's like, ooh, I don't want to do that.
I ain't dead yet.
I ain't dead yet. And then she's like, just want to like get out of there, like not even want to be involved. I think that was, to me, that was funnier than just her going. And also the bit where it's like, I would say ballerina, but no one saw that movie.
I know. I thought of you when I saw it. I was like, yeah, I saw it. He liked it.
Yeah, I get the reference.
I get the reference. Nobody saw that shit.
Yeah. So like, I just feel like there was just a lot of that. And I think where the movie shined for me was going back to making fun of itself at the very end of the movie, where like they just started killing off all the new characters and literally tying them up and burning them at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It was like, this is our franchise. And to me, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I kind of like that they kind of like, oh yeah, we're not passing the torch. Fuck those kids. Like we built this from the ground. This is ours. And we're going to continue moving forward with it, because that's what a lot of franchises are doing. Like, oh, we're going to bring back these legacy characters for 1 or 2 more times. And then like they're there so the fans would know it, but then we're going to be pushing for a new generation so we can continue the name with these new faces. And they're like, nah, fuck all that. We want to be, this is our movie. We built this from the ground. This is 26 years in the making. We're not going to just get rid of it and give it to somebody else. To me, that landed for me. And then also just like killing Anderson, what's his
Anthony
name?
Anderson.
Thank you. See, Anthony Anderson and Shaq for like, that's for doing Scream 3 and 4, because again, a whole meta bit was that they were never involved with Scream 3 and 4, but yet the studio moved forward with it, and Anna Faris and Regina Hall continued it as well. But I think they said, but they paid me a lot of money to come back for them. They're like, oh, all right. And like they gave them a pass on that, but then, you know, killing everybody else and then like torching the house, and we're like, yeah, we own this shit. To me, that was a really funny meta joke to land on.
Yeah, I agree. Or even like stabbing Shaq. He's like, I was in one scene with Dr. Phil and he's weird now. It's like, this is for Kazam.
Yeah, this is for Kazam. And as a kid, I remember liking that movie.
I did too. I thought it was great.
Yeah. I was like, not Shazam. I think that's where the movie shines for me. And like, I think the beginning, and also you bring back Carmen Electra. Sure. She didn't do much, but she was just a bartender, but she was in like the first movie. So again, that's another callback as well. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like other bits. Like the Final Destination bit wasn't funny to me at the very beginning of the movie.
Oh, I like that.
Where
I thought you thought
she
it was
just
so,
happened
it's
to
just
work
so
at-
fucking random.
It's very random. It was like obviously nothing that it was ever addressed, but just things were happening in the background. Sure.
Like when
Was
the
not.
whole final I lived and I got my coin, like calling back Bloodline, Final Destination
Yeah.
Bloodlines, and then he dies anyway.
Yeah. Also, like I feel like they even like for Megan, like even for bringing that into the fold, and that was like a big part of the trailer, and even is in the poster now, but not really going anywhere with that. No, I mean, it was just there, just to be there. It's like, oh, we got this movie, check. And that's kind of sometimes what it felt like. We were just checking boxes to be like okay, we were spoofing this movie. But yeah, and then obviously Regina Hall was a spoof off of Ma, and Anna Faris was a spoof off of
The mom and the grandma in Final Destination.
No, in Halloween.
Was it Halloween?
Yeah, she was
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Thank you. Yeah, she was Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween.
Okay.
In the
Yeah.
first reboot of the Halloween movie.
Yeah.
But I think I sure, it's fine. And then her being like a neglected mother, and then again there was a whole like weird bit with the Terrifier thing, which was basically just how the movie was, but like again another random bit in there. That was also showed in the trailer.
Making kids curse.
Yes. I think at the end of the day, I think this movie, it works when it works, and it doesn't where it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm just sad because I was just expecting more, and which I have no reason why. I have no reason why I should have been expecting anything more from this movie.
To me, I think it met my expectations, where it's like, yep, some of the jokes, like it wasn't a complete failure to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it was very much as like, yeah, this is exactly what I expected this movie to be. Like some jokes landed, most of them didn't for me. But I think overall did I laugh? Not all the time, but I was never mad at this movie. I was like, I never felt like I was wasting my time.
Or you were bored. I never felt like I was bored either.
No, I feel like even some of the random jokes, like again, I think I got some like a few chuckles, like a kind of a few eye rolls, and then a very handful of like ha, 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 like a little laugh out loud, like audible lull. But I do want to talk about the box office because that is actually doing really well right now with a budget of $30 million, mind you. At the time of this recording, this movie has made $58.4 million domestically, another $54.8 million internationally, with a grand total of $113.3 million worldwide. That's nothing to scoff at.
No.
That is the best opening for this franchise. Very similar to Scream 7 earlier this year. It had one of the best openings for that franchise as well. So what does that say right now, Ernesto? What does that tell you? Right now, this movie already made over $100 million. They have well on their right to make another one if they wanted to. There's
a good possibility that they probably will.
Yes. Like for a $30 million budget, you make back 2.5 times. You need it to be 75 mil. You cross that over the first weekend.
Yeah, it's already a
So
success.
it's already a success. Clearly, people wanted to see this.
They're starving. I think it just, even though regardless of whether the movie's good or bad, it shows that people are starving for this kind of content.
And I think it also shows where, like, I don't know if it's the recent popularity in horror right now, obviously coming off of Obsession and Backrooms that were making all the money right now, more so that it's beating out like other big blockbusters. Like these indies horror movies are doing better than Star Wars, The Mandalorian, Grogu, and also what we're going to later talk about in a few minutes is in its box office is Masters of the Universe. So clearly people are making a stance of what movies they would rather see in the theaters.
Yep.
And it's not the big blockbusters right now. It's these movies very clearly. And the studios, I hope they're taking lessons from this because like you don't need to spend a lot of money to make your movies profitable because people are going to want to watch what they want to watch.
Exactly.
So like, and like just give them good content or give them something that feels like an event and they would come to see it. And this movie in particular, I feel like felt like an event of sorts because you're bringing back something that hasn't been here in a while, which was the Wayans brothers coming back for a scary movie.
Now, what would have been great is if they could have capitalized on Obsession and Backrooms. Obviously, the movies came out right next to each other. But if they had worked out some deal to like try to include something from those, I think the movie it probably would have been a lot funnier just to kind of like capitalize on those recent horror movie successes and to have it incorporated.
Well, hell, even going back a little bit further, like last year's Weapons was a big horror movie
They
everyone
had
was
weapons in
about.
this one.
Oh, you're right. Wow, you're right. I forgot about that bit. Not funny.
Get kids high. Whee!
And also they were like, and like even like the audible like 6, 7, like
Yeah.
not funny.
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary. Yeah, it just made zero sense. Of like you're right, they did do weapons, but it wasn't a funny bit though.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, but like you could do it better, like next year, I guess, or whenever you decide to do. Like, if you decide to make a sequel, I think Backrooms and Obsession should be the movies you're looking at to make fun of.
I'm surprised they used that scene and didn't try to incorporate like a fucked up version of Aunt Gladys in the story.
Yeah,
that would have worked way better.
100% true. Like you could have easily done that better, or like Ghostface and like Aunt Gladys makeup or whatever.
Oh yes, wow, yeah, that would have been that'd have been good.
yeah, that seems like a no-brainer there, but clearly this came number one in the box office. Clearly people wanted to see this movie. Also, not to mention, I think Regina Hall nails it in this role. I think out of anybody who like really grew with the role or just hasn't changed a bit, for me it was Marlon Wayans as Shorty. Like didn't change a bit. Like still funny today than it was back then. And Regina Hall's just reactive nature to like her comments is just spot on.
100%.
I think that was also really funny as well.
Yeah, one of the best parts of the movie.
Yeah. But final thoughts, 5-star rating.
I thought it was fine. I guess I wanted there to be a little bit more. Some bits work, some bits didn't. As we were kind of talking about, I think the meta commentary really worked. So basically the opening and ending of this film really, really worked for me. It just it got a little muddied in the middle with all the different things it seems like they were trying to cram in there. I'll go 3. I'm gonna go 3 stars.
I can meet you at a 3. I originally gave this, when I walked out of it, a 3.5.
Okay.
Only because I gave Star Wars The Mandalorian Grogu a 3. And when I walked out of that movie, I was like, it was all right. But I felt the same way with this movie. It's like, it was okay. But at least I laughed a little bit.
Yeah.
In this one. So I kind of gave it a little bit of a bump up for that. But I think 3 is also fair.
Yeah, 3 is fine. I think 3 is a solid choice for this movie.
It's a solid choice. Like I don't think that's obviously.
I think that's being a little charitable.
For the 3?
Yeah.
Wow.
I had a good time. I guess I just, like I said, I wanted there to be more than what they gave us. I went in. The problem is that I went in there with expectations. I was expecting it to be similar to what the Naked Gun gave us, and it just didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like just my history with Scary Movie, like I feel like that's a very specific comedy, and yeah, I think it delivered what I expected it was going to. And anything better would have been a plus for me.
Yeah.
But it was fine at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I think after this conversation, I will forget about this movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
If I ever see it again, it'll be like the first time I ever saw it.
Yes. Yeah. And I think seeing this once is good enough for me.
Yep.
Like I think if we were to talk about the next movie, I really don't need to see this one again.
I agree. I feel like that about all of them, because watching this one, I was like, well, maybe I should watch all the other ones. And then I thought about it. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'll just watch this one. This will be fine.
Yeah. But all right. So that is our spoiler review on Scary Movie. And now we're going to moving over to our second spoiler review, which is the other new movie that came out this week was Masters of the Universe. Again, directed by Travis Knight, who gave us Bumblebee and Kubo and the Two Strings. Ernesto, your thoughts on this movie?
So I thought it was a fun, like very silly movie with a very basic plot that just works. Like to me, it just didn't need to be any more than it was. This movie was a fun time as I kind of opened the episode. I mean, the main thing that kept me hooked in was Daniel Pemberton's incredible score. It drives the pacing perfectly, and the main theme song, it just slaps. It just hits so hard. Like the way that they take certain chords and they use them to play it in the scene. It just kind of it works for like the emotion, like for like a good emotional buildup. And let me mind you, I say this, I've never watched Masters of the Universe. I've never watched any of the other previous content that it's associated with, or the show or whatever. Like so much so that when Dolph Lundgren came on, and like it's like I watched and I go, I feel like this is important. I feel like they're showcasing him because this is a thing that they want us to pay attention to. You know what I mean? Like I was watching, I was like, I feel like this is supposed to be important. Like maybe I'm like, I feel like I'm missing something. And then come to find out, I think as I researched earlier, was that he was He-Man in the 1987 movie. Dolph Lundgren is most significant for playing He-Man in the 1987 live action film Masters of the Universe. So
yeah, which I knew. Like
I didn't fucking know that.
I knew that Dolph Lundgren was like he was He-Man back in the 80s, and I knew there was a movie back in the 80s. I felt no reason to watch it. And also and then so yeah, that and when as soon as I saw that on the screen, it's like okay. And then also even the dialogue, it's like very similar to like, oh, you're the new guy in the gym. Any tips that you have for me? It was very tongue
pass
in
the
cheek.
torch, very pass the torch moment.
Yes. And apparently he gave like a hand signal of like, move forward. I forgot what catchphrase he said, but apparently that was the thing that they said in the 80s film as well, when they were like telling someone goodbye.
Good journey.
Good journey. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah. I really enjoyed the movie. I liked all the just kind of like the little quips between him and the other, like you're Ramrod, you're Fisto,
yeah,
Tech Neck. Like I like it just worked for me. I really liked Jared Leto at Skeletor, and I don't like Jared Leto in like pretty much anything. But I just thought it worked. Like there was like this comedic timing that they have that this character has that I think worked. That it just works and adds to like the silliness that the franchise has.
Yeah, to me, and again, say what you want about Jared Leto. I'm not saying he's a good man. They keep giving him movies, and I mean, I will tell you right now, I did not care for him in the latest Tron movie. And also, fuck Morbius.
We don't speak of that movie anymore. We reviewed it. We reviewed it a long time ago, but we don't speak of it.
No, we don't speak of the other one either.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's the sore subject here on the podcast. Someone, so I'm not even gonna say the name.
But you know, the sad part is that as soon as you said it, I was like, I already know exactly what he's talking about. But I feel like what I really liked about this movie is that besides Dolph Lundgren and Idris Elba, like the rest of the movie was like almost not like no name. I don't want to say no name actors because Alison Brie and Jared Leto are in the movie too. But
yes,
like as far as like our main cast, it was like this guy, I've never seen him in anything else before, or the girl he was with, I've never seen her anything before. But
she was in Riverdale. She was like
never saw
her
that.
main. Yeah, I knew at this part. I knew as well. Her main claim, like she was in Riverdale for all those seasons. She played Veronica, and so like from 2017 to 2023, she was Veronica in Riverdale. So most of her time was over there on that show.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, overall, I thought it was good. I thought the action sequence worked. I mean, the damn score is really what kept me hooked in the entire movie. Like I was literally humming it during the movie, after the movie.
Yeah.
I played the soundtrack on the way home from the movie, and like it's now been added to my playlist in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. But
they just also introduced something that I haven't seen in a really long time, where instead of it being like a million different scores for every individual scene, is that they take the same song and they just kind of like chop it up, and they kind of mold it to the scene, if that makes any sense. Like they'll change a chord here, or here and there, or you only get certain parts of the song for certain aspects that are for certain timing that's happening in the movie, and for like dramatic effect, and it just fucking worked. Like it just worked. It just, for me, it was something that like it was so familiar that it just immediately pulls you. Like if you were kind of lagging a little bit, it was a way to kind of pull you back in.
Yeah, a lot of movies, a lot of good composers would have your main theme, and it just hits. Like I think if your main theme is so good, you find a creative way to interweave it in throughout the entire movie, because you know that is the main score. And I think Daniel Pemberton, he always does a great job of doing that, and he is also, I think, he has good moments because he's also the composer behind Project Hail Mary. They also have good scores in that movie. However, 100%. I feel like they have good individual moment scores in Project Hail Mary. So like for basically not every piece of music there is like a banger, for example. Obviously you need your quiet moments or whatever. But there were like some big moments in Project Hail Mary where you kind of bolster up the action. Where I feel like with Masters of the Universe, even the quiet moments, it was just like very subtle. It's like do 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 do, it's like that's the sad version of the song. Here is the exciting moment of the song. Like just replaying the same chords but give you the same emotion, but it's being familiar. It works for the movie.
100%.
And even going back to Jared Leto, his performances in the past, whatever, but you're right. He nailed Skeletor.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
his cadence and his like even at the very beginning where it's like, he's ruthless and then he's laughing and then then he stops. He goes, "What? Why is when I laugh everybody laughs?" And he's like, and then like Alison Brie as what's her name? Evil Lynn. She just like tells everyone, okay, I get it now. I'm sorry. Like here's the bit. And to me, I was like, oh, okay, here's comedy in like the horrific moment of the scene where like everyone's getting destroyed. Like the whole Eternia is getting destroyed right now. And he's like, we're going to leave room for this funny bit where he wants everyone to laugh with him. And I feel like that was an interesting like comedic choice to give you at the very beginning of the movie that then gave you the cadence or like what to expect for the rest of the movie, because this is his tone. Like he is serious when he needs to be, but he's just a silly guy.
Yeah.
At the same time.
What I also liked is I forgot in one of their confrontations when he's like, "Oh, you think you're gonna reform me?" It's like, you think I'm bad because I want this or that. He's like, I'm just evil to be evil. It was almost like a refreshing introduction of like, I feel like as of recent, like it's every movie or story is like a deep exploration of why the bad guy is bad and helping humanize him a little bit. Whereas this is like classic, like, no, bad guys are bad, good guys are good, and he's just bad, and we need to get rid of him. And it was just, I don't know, but the movie lends itself to that because of how simplistic the storyline was that it just worked.
Yeah, and I think staying along the lines of that, like, I was actually really impressed that we didn't spend a lot of time on Earth, which I figured we were going to.
Yeah.
But we were like only there for like maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It was very quick, if that. And I think, to your point, keeping the plot simple, because he got to Earth, he lost the sword, right? Then we fast forward, I think, 20 something years later, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
They did not explain what happened to him as soon as he landed. They did not explain, like, how did he grow up in Earth all this time. It was just 20 years later. Don't worry about it. He's still looking for the sword. You saw him lose the sword? Guess what? He's still looking for it 20 years later.
I also really love the setup for that, or like, you know, we spent this whole time of like learning his history and attorney and how he got to Earth, and then you learn that he's telling his date, that he's explaining this whole thing to a first date. I mean, just the fact that he went it, like, it was a great introduction to kind of get us into what's happening and kind of get us into what the story, and then to use that as a vehicle of him telling that to his date, I thought was fucking great. I just thought it was so funny.
It was pretty funny. And then she's like, well, it was so funny because she was like, he's like, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds crazy, right? And then she's like, yeah, it does sound crazy. And he goes like, but the sword, like, he then goes back into the bit, and then she's gone.
Also, when we go to his human resources office and his thing and his nameplate says him, and he's He-Man. Yeah. I just come up like that alone, like that was funny. Like,
yeah. I think also, like, going back to like his job, and like his boss was like very corporate, passive aggressive. Like, I think that's really funny. And she was like, don't answer that phone. If you answer that phone, he's like literally inching his way toward picking up the phone. She's like, I see you. Don't pick it up. And he goes,
like, or like the fact that he had to explain it. He's like, so are you giving me an ultimatum? She's like, oh yes. Oh, you got it. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so bad with confrontation. I don't have to explain that to you. You get it. You just already understand. You already know.
She's like, other people around the office have noticed that you be looking up weapons on the clock. That's kind of it's kind of a red flag. And I mean, yeah, I get it. If you're looking up swords all day, like, you really have this obsession with swords. But yeah, I think the whole Earth bit, I think just the beginning of the movie itself, like, you have your introduction, and also showcasing how like likable and badass Idris Elba was in the beginning of this movie.
Oh yeah.
Like, I love that. Like, that whole like introduction of his character, the fight scene that he had with, I think, Trapjaw. Like, and him like getting defeated in that moment, but also as badass just to begin with. And then going into Earth, and then 20 years later, and yeah, we see what he was talking about. So obviously we know that it's real, and we know that this is like this fantasy, but yet other people can't get attached to it. So I think a lot of the funny bits come with that when he's trying to explain it or get to his point of view, when like, because we know because we experienced the world that he's talking about. So I think the jokes land a little bit better when like they're kind of making fun of the whole idea of it. And then so much so that he's when he gets the sword and then he gets captured, and like it feels very silly of him, like, you ripping off a sword off of a mannequin. And I think that really lands for the movie. And then it just kind of us going back into Eternia, and him turning into He-Man and finally finding himself to say, I have the power. And it was like, to me, what I found really comical about all that was that this whole time he was wearing like this long sleeve shirt, Very iconic, apparently, to what he wore when he is Adam.
Oh,
He wears like this. It was a very similar outfit where it was like this pink something with like a white shirt underneath. So it's very reminiscent to what he wore in the cartoon. But there was a point where like he's being transformed into He-Man. We see like the muscles growing and he's getting like big and everything. And I was like, I'm sorry, you can't just because you put a long sleeve shirt on the man, all of a sudden it gets ripped off and he's muscular. Like he was muscular the entire time in the movie.
like he was always jacked. You get there's not much of that. There's only so much of that you could have hidden. Like that man is enormous.
I understand for the role, you got to be jacked. So like I get it. But don't tell me that he was never jacked to begin with just because you put a long sleeve shirt on him. You know what I mean? It's
like, seems sus.
It was, don't tell me all of a sudden you found these muscles. They were always here. All right? They were always there. But yeah, I think also just the kind of the nature of his character coming from an HR background as like, oh, I know how we can fix these problems through conversation.
Yeah.
And it was never going to work for these scenarios because everyone's just going in with a brute force and physicality. And I think to me, that also adds a little bit of humor to the joke because He-Man is coming from HR.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Or like at the end when he's trying to reason with Skeletor. He's like trying to talk to him like conflict resolution. He's like, I'm great at conflict resolution.
And what's also funny, again, going back to Skeletor, when he was like doing the mind games with him, and
yes, and he's the HR.
He's the day I died when he was like, you just see Skeletor in these different outfits, and I was like, what is this right now? And he's coming there with HR, and he goes, what is this?
When he's in the gym with him,
he's in the gym, yeah,
Jack.
And then he goes to the next one. He's like, what? Where am I? And he's like, human resources. Like, sounds kind of boring around here. I don't know. It's like, it was just being like, he's like, I mean, he's trying to like do like mind games with him, but he couldn't help. It's like, wait, where am I? I don't quite understand this right now. I don't understand. Wait, we're in office? Like, what is this? I think to me that again, pretty funny bit. But I think what's great about this as well is that you mixed in the funny bits in there seamlessly with like these banger action sequences.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like you're right at the beginning when we first started talking about this, it never took itself too seriously at all.
No,
it was always fun, and like we'll give you some of these moments we can latch on to, like the humanity of it, especially with Idris Elba. Like clearly he was beaten down by like not living up to holding, like, you know, being the defender that he was for the king and everything, and you feel like he failed everybody, and like him getting that courage back to like basically be the hero again, and like eventually, you know, get Tapjaw and kill him. I think that was a great arc for his character, but also great redemption arc. And then also like these really silly names that came from the cartoon, instead of just saying that what these names are, they gave it a funny beat of like they never had names, but yet it was Adam's fantasy of these icons that he grew up with, and he never knew their names, so he gave them names. And I think that was a very clever story beat to add into the movie while also honoring the nostalgia of these characters.
That was my question. So those are the names that they actually had in the show?
Yes.
That's hilarious. Ramrod, Fisto, Techneck.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Those were all real names. And that's why he was like, what name did you give me? And I think it was, what did he say? He said it was Tila. I think he was a different name that he gave her. And he's like, what he name give for yourself? He's like, He-Man.
He's like,
yeah.
But he called her like princess or
oh yes. Damn.
I'll find it.
I think you're right. It was Princess something. But I think like again, like they like making a reference on it, but also finding a clever way to make it part of the story. It works.
All right, let's. Oh, I need the characters.
See what else here. Yeah, I think a lot of this movie just really worked for me. Like I think just not taking itself too seriously, giving us the action, giving us the uh giving us these funny moments. I think overall, even though I didn't come from a Masters of the Universe background at all, I think it very much captured the essence of what I think this show was, and I had a good time with it.
All right, so He-Man, Prince Adam, Duncan, which is Idris Elba's character. He called him man. His name was Man at Arms.
Yes.
Tila. It doesn't say in here. Tila was a sorceress. Tila sorceress. Orko was the troll and magician. Ram Man, Fisto, Mechanic, and Buzz Off. I didn't
Yes.
see. Did we see Buzz Off?
I'm not sure if we did or not. But
And Battle Cat, Cringer.
okay. And then also we had Roboto as well, voiced by Kristen Wiig, which is another like it wasn't a major character in the movie, but another added comedic relief of sorts in there, where it's like I think there was a point where like they just needed her to like ram things, and eventually like they need them for something else, and I think it it's playing off to the bit that you're only useful for a certain thing, but then you have other layers to yourself and yada yada. But very quickly, I also want to talk about the box office because I think that's what a lot of people were talking about this weekend, unfortunately. And so this movie had a budget of 170 to 200 million dollars.
I believe it. I mean, it was very CGI. I mean, the movie is very CGI.
Very, yes. At the time of this recording, the movie opened at number 2, and it opened to about $29.4 million. At the time of this recording, the movie has made $31.5 million domestically, only $25 million internationally, with a grand total of $56.5 million worldwide. Woof. That is
rough.
That's rough. It's sad to see because this was out of the two movies that came out this weekend, this was clearly the better movie.
I enjoyed this way more than Scary Movie for a multitude of reasons.
But clearly, and it's one of those things that it happens to, there's always one big blockbuster that just doesn't, like, at this point, it's hard to be like, it just sucks to be there. Like, then who was this made for? A very small group of people who were fans of the movie, fans of the TV show, came to watch this movie. Clearly, there wasn't a calling for it, and obviously, we're box office bingers. We watch everything.
We watch it.
But naturally, it looked like a fun movie from the trailer.
Yeah,
and it also maybe a new take on the franchise, and even though a franchise that we weren't familiar with, but we were willing to give it a shot.
Yeah,
you would think there would have been more Masters of the Universe like appeal there to hit some sort of nostalgia level. And I'm sure for people who have watched the cartoons, I'm sure there's a lot of nostalgia that comes with this. But I don't know, what do you think happened here?
I just think it's too expensive to make. It's too expensive for the vision that it's required, because the movie itself is good, but it just didn't meet what it can sell, if that makes any sense. Like this wasn't going to be that big of a movie, I guess. And they weren't trying. It doesn't seem like they were trying to be, but they made a good movie for the material that they had. Like if they could just figure out a cheaper way to make it, then it probably would have been better. But then it probably wouldn't have been as pretty to look at, because there's a lot of it that's just really gorgeous.
But I feel like, to me, this has the total package.
I agree.
Like, it has action, it has comedy, it has relatability, it has iconic characters. Like this character was created back in the 70s. Like there's some appeal here. Like, this is a recognizable IP. I didn't think it was dead.
Yeah.
not to the point where no one came to show for. Like, I'm not expecting this movie to make $100 million. Like, I mean, I think that's almost the standard nowadays that you're not a success if your movie doesn't open to $100 million opening weekend, if not more. But I wasn't expecting this low of a turnout for this movie.
It was same. It was originally began development in 1981, inspired by
1981.
Conan the Barbarian concepts.
Yes, yes. I mean, obviously, the original cartoon was just made to sell toys, and also from Mattel, even like coming off of Barbie and their huge success, and now doing this movie one of their next projects. I think to me, they're on a winning streak. Mattel is,
Oh yeah,
as far as making the IP properties into movies worth seeing on the big screen. But clearly, either this movie wasn't marketed to the right people. I mean, I thought it presented a fun atmosphere. So, like all the credit to the actors. No one this I don't think I can really say anything overly negative about this movie other than, like, to me, there was a point in the middle where I feel like it kind of dragged. I think its
Yeah.
runtime 2 hours and 20 minutes, little long.
yeah.
Like, I
It
think
could have
you
been a
made this.
solid 90 or hour 45, and it would have been just as good.
I would argue you can give me a solid 2 hour movie.
Okay.
I think 90 would have been too quick. But I think you could have given me a 2 hour movie and this would have been fine. You could have shaved off 20 minutes of this. But I just don't understand why the massive appeal didn't get to audiences. And clearly, obviously, they went to this weekend, they went to go see Scary Movie. And again, they like Obsession still killing it. Backrooms had a 70% drop in its second week. So it went from number 1 to 70. It went from number 1 to number 3. The same percentage drop for Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu. So, like, in its second week, Mando and Grogu dropped 70%, and the same for Backrooms. And I think for me, Obsession is the one that is still going strong because it's still making small increases. And to me, that is like, okay, so clearly this is the movie that people are still watching because that only had like a 10% drop from from week 3. So now in week 4, you're crossing $200 million already. Both Backrooms and Obsession crossed $200 million
Wow.
on shoestring budgets, which is, well, mainly for Obsession. For Backrooms, they had a $10 million budget, but still, that's still like they made back way more than, like, they got to 200 million mark to even match the budget of Masters of the Universe. There's a realm of possibility that this movie doesn't even cross 100 mil.
Yeah, I just think the issue was that it was just too expensive to make.
Yeah.
That's just real, sadly what it comes down to. The movie,
Yeah, and
if you strip away all the CGI, that's like 90% of the movie.
yeah, and there's no fault to, like, obviously it's Amazon who made this movie, so they have all the money in the world.
Yeah, they don't.
So maybe, making a flop for the sake of argument is a drop in the water to them. It's like, well, that's a tax write-off. Anyway, moving on.
We'll make another.
Like,
we'll make the second
We'll
one.
make a second. Yeah, they could easily go that because it's not poorly reviewed. It's actually favorably reviewed.
I thought it was really good. It's I think it's worth your it's a great summer action flick.
100%. Like, I just want to quickly look at the Rotten Tomato score is a 67 on the critics, but 87 on the audience. So it's not bad.
No.
Compare that to Scary Movie, for example. See what they gave at the end of the day. Scary Movie had a 24% critics rating and a 67% audience rating. So 67, it's still okay, but not like amazing.
Yeah.
But anyway, final thoughts and 5-star rating on Masters of the Universe.
I'm gonna go 4.5 stars. Like, I think it's just a fun. It's got like this rock opera vibe with Daniel Pemberton's amazing score. The score is obviously what sells it for me, but I just think that the movie just works. Like Skeletor, the relationships that they build. I really, like you mentioned, I really like Duncan or Idris Elba's his arc. I think from start to finish, I just think it was well earned, and especially at the very end when he takes him out, I just thought it was just a great scene. Overall, great movie. 4.5 stars.
Yeah, I can meet you at a 4.5. I think when I walked out of it, because I felt like it kind of dragged a little bit, I kind of gave it a 4. But that was just the moment I felt. But I think 4 out of 4.5 is more of a better representation of it because this movie's a lot of fun. Like I would go back and rewatch this movie again.
100%.
Yeah, this is to me this was like, and this is kind of as of right now, this feels like maybe not the movie of the summer, but it definitely feels like the movie of the summer.
Agreed. Yeah, totally agree.
Like this is like one of those where like easily just go into the theater, big bucket of popcorn, and let's just get lost in Eternia and have a good time in this world. You get to laugh, you get to see cool action. Like it's to me, it's the total package of something you would want to see in the summer.
Agreed. Totally agreed.
And yeah, it's a shame that clearly the audiences did not come out and support this movie.
Nope.
So maybe it might get a second wing, but with the rest of the lineup coming up, especially with this week, we have Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day, which is getting a lot of buzz right now. And then the week after, you have Toy Story 5. And then the week after, you have Supergirl. Yeah, it's going to get muddled as some movies do in the summer season, where like if you're not a hit after the first week or you're not going to collect that massive buzz, then you're just going to get lost. And then people are just going to go after the next new movie that comes out.
Yeah, this almost would have been better as like maybe a spring release leading into the summer. Like if this had come out before Obsession, like maybe a couple weeks before Obsession, I think it would have done much better.
Like an early April release, like maybe a little bit after Project Hail Mary, and then like kind of leaning into this because Project Hail Mary, it owned the springtime.
100%.
Like it was perfect, like March right in there, and that was also from Amazon. Like they also put out that movie too. So yeah, it's a shame that such a great movie for the summer just didn't connect with audiences to go support it in the big screen. But we had a good time with it, so we recommend you guys to go watch this movie.
It's got our stamp of approval. Box office.
There it is.
You'll watch it.
We just has our stamp, just like Disney and the Marvel. They have their own stamp.
Bob Vision.
Bob. The Benja Vision of approval. Yep, there it is.
Go see it.
There it is. Go see it. Got your Bob for you. So anyway, there you go. That's our spoiler review of Master of the Universe, spoiler review of Scary Movie, and a little bit of talking about Spider-Noir. And that is other show we have for you guys this week. As always, you can follow us on our social media channels on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok at Box Office Bingers, our X and Letterboxd page at Box Office Binger, and our Threads and Instagram page at Box Office_Bingers. The fun doesn't stop here. It continues on all of our social media channels. So be sure to give you each one of those a follow. As always, you can see what's new to streaming every Friday, and we'll give you the box office numbers every Sunday. And all of our movie reviews can be found on our Letterboxd page. Ernesto, tell the lovely listeners what they can look forward to next week.
As you were just previously mentioning, we are going to be reviewing Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day. It's already getting rave reviews, like Steven Spielberg just showcasing that he is the master. So I'm pretty excited. This is probably going to be an amazing movie. It's going to be an experience. They're even referencing it as good as Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So we'll see.
Full disclosure, I've never seen that movie.
That is unfortunate. I hope I said it right. Did I say it right? Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Is that right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, okay. That's it. That's one of the few like staple Spielberg movies I have not seen.
Maybe now is the time for you to go watch it, Matthew.
It feels like this is the moment. Also full disclosure. Another big one that I have not seen from Steven Spielberg's repertoire is or filmography is Schindler's List.
Wow. Super depressing movie, but it's like it reminds me of that other World War II movie that we watched. The one about when you're behind the German camp. The name escapes me.
The Zone of Interest?
The Zone of Interest. It's kind of like that. It's super fucking depressing. And after you watch it, you go, wow, I don't think I could ever watch that again. But it is fan. I mean, Schindler's List is amazing. It's an incredible film.
I feel like that's probably one of the reasons why I haven't watched it, because I just everyone just saying it's so depressing. It's like, well, I don't want to go in that mood, but you gotta have to be kind of ready for that type.
Yeah, you have to come with the terms with, oh, like there's some truth to this fictional story of like how
Right.
these people lived. And I think it's really, to me, it's more that than anything, that even though this is a fictional story, that there is some truth to what I'm watching about what has transpired to these people. And
Yeah.
and I think that's just the horrific thing to come to reality with when you watch it, is that there is some truth to it.
Yeah, and then we also, again, Spielberg, a versatile director as he is, you're coming off of that and then also creating like sci-fi classics.
Yes.
So, I mean, a lot of people are, yeah, they are comparing it to Close Encounters of the Third Kind, but also came like, I'm seeing a lot of headlines like Spielberg's back.
Yeah.
Like he is like to true form of the movies that he used to make back in the 80s. So, a lot of buzz, a lot of positive energy, a lot of high expectations.
Yeah, a lot of
coming
good
into
movies
this
this
movie.
summer. A lot of, I mean,
Yeah.
this is probably, I mean, we say it every year, but I feel like every year we get the movies get a little bit stronger. I mean, AMC reported a 22% increase. It's just this past month. I mean, that's great. A lot of that has to do with Obsession and Backrooms, but it's leading into the summer season where a lot of people are seeing these trailers and going, oh, I want to go see Disclosure Day. Oh, Spielberg's back doing another movie like that. Oh, hell yeah, I'm going to go see that. Oh, that
Yeah,
looks
and I
good.
think-
that looks good.
And I think Project Hail Mary helped
I agree.
with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Like a lot of people, a huge flux of people went to go see Project Hail Mary, and also like the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Also, a ton of people went to go see that too. So like,
Yeah.
April was like a really good month for people to go to the theaters, and I think surprisingly for the month of May, where like maybe like even Devil Wears Prada 2 brought a lot of people into the theater.
True,
I mean,
very true.
made almost $400 million. That's nothing to scoff at. That's a huge win for that franchise. And then leading into the rest of May, Obsession and Backrooms came out of nowhere and was like, yeah, we're gonna keep the theaters afloat. Like, I don't think people were expecting that. And now, as we move into June, yeah, we're getting, you know, obviously a lot of people saw Scary Movie this weekend. Disclosure Day, a bunch. If Toy Story 5 don't make $1 billion, something's wrong.
It probably
You know, it's gonna make $1 billion, if not more.
yeah.
But anyway, that's all the show we have for you guys this week. Come back next week for our review on Disclosure Day, and also come back next week for more movie fun. We love talking about movies, and we really do appreciate you come back each and every week just to listen to us just babble on about these little things we like to do. And I'm rambling again. Anyway, and for that, I've been your host, Matt Diaz.
You're fine, Matt. We love you.
Thank you.
And I've been Ernesto Santos. See ya.